What up YouTube, this is your girl Yelbaz. Good to have you back on the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to navigate the whole group project at the University of the People as a student in the Masters of Education program. So if you've ever had trouble with this, like let's say you get the assignment, you have your group members, we're just going to go step by step on how to get started, how to organize yourself. So if that interests you, keep on watching. So the first thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to access your group members. Like, how do you know who your group members are? So first of all, you're gonna go to the regular my.uofpeople.edu. You're gonna go onto what we call Moodle. I believe that it's what it's called. And then typically you'll be in the group project by week 4 or week 3. So you're going to go ahead and click where you access the discussion forum written assignment. You're going to go to group activity forum. And then you'll see down here where it says separate groups. So typically there will be 2 different groups. One of them is like your whole entire class, and then the other one is your actual group members. So here your project group 005C, if it has a letter in it, that's going to be your project group, so you want to go on there. This one, if you click on group 005 or anything that doesn't have a letter, it will just take you to like the forum for the entire class, and that's not the one that you want. You want the one with your group members. And then the first thing that you do once you get that first week that they give you the instructions for the group, you want to introduce yourself on the discussion forum by clicking reply. And you also want to mention the best way to communicate, the best way to do the assignment. And I suggest that you just provide your information on there as well. So for example, your WhatsApp number or your email. So you'll notice that most people will work on Microsoft Teams or Google Drive. I suggest that, it just really depends, because a lot of your classmates are going to be from different parts of the world. Most people in the United States, I think, prefer to use Google Drive. It's so much easier. Some people prefer Microsoft Teams for whatever reason. If you have classmates from China, they won't be able to communicate through WhatsApp. So currently it's 2021, so hopefully that changes, but if it doesn't, just make sure that you accommodate. That happened to me a couple times, and basically what the group did was just one person be up to date with what's happening with the group, with the activity. So in this case, it was me, and so the rest of the group would communicate on WhatsApp, and then I would email this person any announcements, anything new. This person still had access to all the shared assignments, which we all did on Google Drive. So it's possible. You just have to be flexible and just be solution oriented when it comes to these things. The second thing with the group project, you'll see that it will either be a presentation, like a Google or a slide PowerPoint presentation, where you have to present any findings or present any theories, and you have to figure out how to apply them in your own classroom. And the other option are papers, and I've gotten a mix of both. I'm not going to say that the group projects are mostly presentations, because I would be lying. It's like half-half. So for example, for me right now, this is my second to last class in the program, and so it's just a pure paper that we have to complete. But I do know that in the first couple of classes in the program, it's going to be a lot of presentations, but as you progress through the program, you'll notice that there's more group-based essays or group papers that you have to write. The next thing that I want to talk about is how to organize yourself. So let's say you already introduced yourself. You all have a platform where that you agree to communicate on. Now, how do we organize ourselves so that we are all equally contributing to the assignment? So let me go ahead and show you. All right, so this is one of those things. This is an actual organization tool that we used for one of the group projects. This was a presentation. So it's a table. So on the first column, you'll see the task. And basically, I just copied and pasted from the instructions onto the document. Second column, the person that will be in charge. The third, which is the status. For example, have you made progress on it? Have you started it? Have you finished it? Etc. And the last part is, when is it due? Honestly, I have no idea if the due dates actually help people. Sometimes people will just turn it in like 2 days before. Honestly, give yourself some grace. Same with your group. Give them grace, because we're all teachers, and it's possible that they won't make the deadline. It's possible that they will need help or whatever it may be. One, they're humans. Two, they're teachers. Three, some of them have families, and some may have like spotty internet, and it can be hard to complete those on deadlines. So just be graceful. I think this is mostly for people in the United States, because we have the infrastructure to be successful on the internet, but sometimes you cannot. And so I think just recognizing that privilege and just having grace for the rest of your classmates. And so in addition to this document, you would have the Google PowerPoint, and it will be shared among your group. So that is how we organize ourselves. I typically, when I have time, I'm gonna be completely honest, when I have time, let's say that the week that the group instructions have been given, and if I have some extra time, I will be the first one to initiate this and start, okay, these are the tasks for this group, and I decide to put myself here and here, and then I just ask the group, do you all mind using this tool so that we can organize ourselves? So instead of saying, okay, I made this, go ahead and assign yourself, I'm actually asking permission for the group, because remember, it's a team effort. So we all have to be, we all have to agree in some form. And so just asking, can we use this tool to help us organize ourselves? And most, like 9 out of 10 cases, people will say yes. And I think people appreciate that, of like asking first before telling people what to do. So that has helped. If you would like a template of this tool, I call it a tool even though it's a Google document, you'll find it in the description box below. And just a couple of tips that I have for all of you is constant communication. So what could this look like? It literally means you communicate at least 2 times a week. If there's an issue, if you need help, if you know that you're not gonna be able to turn it in on a certain deadline that your group decided on, communicate that. So just over communicate, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm having trouble with, etc. Just do it. Go on WhatsApp, email, whatever it may be, whatever works for your group. B is constantly ask for feedback. So a lot of times we think that our part of the project is done when it's done, but that's not how it works. That's not how education works. So if you complete your assignment, ask for feedback. Like, hey group, like I just finished this part, can somebody take a look over it, let me know if I need to improve it. And that way, when you offer yourself, like if you ask for feedback from others, 9 out of 10 times other people will be more receptive to your own feedback, because the purpose of the group project is to learn from one another. And and not just like complete the assignment and se acabó. It doesn't work like that. You have to see like, okay, how can we improve in this area? How can we improve in this area? But you also have to put yourself out there and say, hey, my part of the assignment isn't perfect. Please let me know how to make it better. And then my last tip, which is something that I still need to work on, and I know when I do it, like, it really helps, which is to ask questions the very first 2 weeks when the assignment was assigned. So let's say you have a misunderstanding of the instructions, contact your professor immediately, or contact your group members and ask away, because if you wait until 2 weeks before the assignment is due, that's problematic, and that's not a good sign, especially for your professor. So the last part that I have are FAQs, or hypothetical situations that might arise. So the first common one is like, what if I don't hear back from one of your group members? Like, what if I can't hear back, or they're MIA, or just ghosting? So one of the things is, if they're doing that the very first 2 weeks, contact your professor. More than likely they will message that group member as well. They will probably just do it 2 times max. If they continue to ghost, there's not much to do. Like, you can't kick them out of your group even if you wanted to, which sucks. But I had the exact same situation actually. We had 2 group members, 2 of them that totally ghosted. One of them was in the hospital because of COVID, but didn't mention it until like the very last minute. And there was another one who just completely flaked, didn't even communicate what was going on. So the week before the assignment was due, I had messaged them and I said, hey, this is what's happening. Our group members, and this was something that I had talked with my group members, because everybody was pretty upset that they had not contributed to the assignment, and it was getting to the point where we were like super nervous, and we also didn't want a situation where those 2 group members to just turn in the assignment that we had done without their own contributions. Like, that's completely unfair. So I asked my group members, do you all feel comfortable taking them off of the sharing options, like to take them off completely so that they don't have access to the work that we had done? And they all said yes. So that's what we did. We took them off and we never heard back from them. So there are situations that can be resolved. You just have to be kind of like the bad guy, I guess, like not the bad guy, but like, you just gotta do what you gotta do to be fair, right? In this case, they didn't do anything. They didn't even communicate the way that they were supposed to, and they didn't say anything. So there are always situations, there are solutions to everything. The second hypothetical situation would be if the student does communicate well, like maybe we hear from them once a week, they're doing great with that, but they do not contribute, like they do not have anything written down, they haven't researched, like nothing. And they keep saying, okay, I'll finish it by Thursday. Thursday comes and it doesn't happen. And then some days pass by, and then it's literally the week before the assignment is due. They still have not done anything, but they still communicate. So they're like saying, okay, I'm sorry, this is what's happening. There's been an outbreak at my school. We had to do virtual learning or whatever. Like, they're still communicating. In that case, we didn't take them out. We kept them into the Google Drive, and maybe like 8 out of 10 times, I'm assuming, they will contribute to the assignment just super last minute. I remember this happened to us. They came through like a day before and they had everything ready. So if you have a group member who does communicate frequently but doesn't contribute right away, do not lose hope. I think they are more than likely going to leave everything to the last minute, but at least it will get done. Another hypothetical or situation that may arise is the idea of either making comments or actually editing somebody else's work. So there are some people who feel comfortable just leaving those comments, and then there are other people that are comfortable just making edits on your own work. So I think talking with your group members at the beginning, hey, do we feel comfortable editing each other's work, or should we just leave comments to improve your work? Me personally, I like making those comments. I personally do not like people editing my work because I don't think it's a fair representation of what I want to write, and it's just like a disrespect. It's disrespectful for me. But I've had group members who literally had said, just edit it for me. And I'm like, okay. Which I didn't, because it's not my work, right? But I think just making sure that you all agree as a group, like this is what we're gonna do, this is what we expect, I think is important to do at the beginning. I think my, just one last thing that I'm gonna add here is about if one of your group members is ghosting, privately message them and tell them, hey, we haven't heard from you, we wanna know what's going on, are you okay? Do you need help? Do you want me to jump on a Zoom call? So instead of just attacking the person, hey, turn in your work, you also want to be graceful and ask if they need any help, because maybe they are procrastinating because there are misunderstandings of the assignment. So I think my biggest tip in general with group projects is be human and expect others to also be human. It's so easy to get into to that virtual environment, and it's so easy to not see them as humans because you're literally just sending messages back and forth. But just make sure that you be conscious that you're talking to another human on the other end. So that means asking for help, being collaborative, and being respectful and professional. You're not talking to a friend, you're not talking to somebody that, you have to always remind yourself to be kind, not just in person, but also virtually, because everyone has feelings, right? So you just have to remember that. All right, well, I hope this video helped you in some way figure out how to organize your group project and inspire you to have successful group projects. It is possible, and it's actually really fun when you have people from different countries sharing their different experiences. So I think there are a lot of positives to these group projects. You're all distributing, you all have different tasks, and you're contributing to one whole, and it's beautiful to see how one product can look like with the contributions of everybody in the group. So if this group project helped, if you are going to use that template, I would love to hear you in the comments. Tell me how it helped. You can contact me on Instagram. I don't promise that I will message you back on time, because sometimes I'm a teacher as well and something doesn't happen. So just make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and I am grateful for your subscription to this channel, and that is it for today. Hasta luego.